I like that vegan is part of your insult tics. Gideon fail. Incidentally, that came from a weird place. I happen to be a fan of Breaking Bad. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Oh, I love cunt. I love it. I don't know if you've ever seen Breaking Bad, but there's a guy in it who tends to punctuate everything he says with bitch. And once he was on a talk show, and some lady called in and she was like, I just finished 2 tubs of vegan ice cream and I'm feeling pretty proud of myself. And he turned around and looked straight at the camera and was like, congratulations, you vegan bitch. And ever since then, it's just stuck. It just hit me right in the Tourette's, and I've been saying it since. It's been rather inappropriate at times. Do you consider Tourette's as a part of yourself, or some part, or some sort of alien? I will rub your dick with my friends. I think it is part of me, but it's not, it's part of me in that it's part of my journey, it's part of something that I have to navigate in my day-to-day life. It's very defining whenever it's a defining element of anything that I have to do. Like, I'm gonna take martial arts lessons, and that's gonna be awkward as fuck. So it is very much a part of me in that it's part of my life experiences and it changes how I experience the world. But it's not part of me in that it expresses things that I intend very often. I do have things that trigger me in a specific way that kind of explain how I'm feeling. Accidentally. It's very revealing. But most of the time I don't think about fisting people, or like toasting people's nadsacks. Do you think there will ever be a cure for Tourette's? Sweetheart, I think that, to be honest, a lot of people, Tourette's doesn't last their entire lives. For a lot of people, Tourette's subsides, so that's good. It means that most people don't have it forever. But for those who have it long term and to a very, very, very severe degree, I fucked their fish. For those people, it's different in that they can have medication if they choose. Like, you can get medication for Tourette's, you can get all sorts of treatments. There are lots of, there's lots of different approaches. There's meditation, there's music, there's some sorts of therapy. I mean, if you have more psychologically triggered Tourette's, then neurologically you can get therapy and that can help it go away. So there are lots of different ways to try and cure Tourette's. What's more frustrating, verbal or motor tics? Motor tics, like saying stuff to people you can explain it away. My cunt is on fire! But with the motor tics, like I have legit just smacked things across the room, pots of paint. I have broken expensive things. I mean, I threw 6 phones, really expensive smartphones, in the sea. Because I just would have a tic to just lob it in there. And so I bought I bought 10 cunts. Woo! Party! I bought a really cheap phone that was like 10 quid. Just a really cheap phone. And I had it for a year and didn't throw it in the sea, so I thought the tic had gone. I was like, yes, fuck yeah, I can get a proper phone. I bought a proper phone for the first time in a year and threw it in the sea 2 days later. The most embarrassing tic story? I don't know, they're all pretty damn embarrassing. I mean, I sat on a train once and I was surrounded by 3 children and their mom, and I went, pedo, 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 fuck you! Like, just said fuck you to the mother and called all 3 of the children pedos, and I was so embarrassed. I was like paralyzed by the embarrassment, so I couldn't even explain myself. I just got up and walked to the other carriage and really hoped they didn't call like the ticket master to kick me off again. So yeah, there are situations like that happen all the time. Or if random people are fisting, that's pretty odd. What's sex like with Tourette's? Do you have outbursts? Sex is interesting because I don't really tic very much during sex. I mean, if I feel distracted, I'm not concentrating on what's going on, I do tic. So it's a very clear way for me to involuntarily show that this is not quite working the way that it should. But tics during sex can be very awkward because I have ticked a woman's name whilst in bed with a dude. I have suddenly stopped and fucked a biscuit. Oh, I have suddenly stopped and punched a dude in the dick. That was very awkward. I think he literally said to me, "So, what are we going to do next?" And I went, "This." And I had intended to do something else, but what I actually did was punch him in the dick. So for him, it seemed very much like that was an intentional thing. It was like, "What are we going to do next?" This! Bam! Did you go to Tourette's camp? No! Like, this is the thing. If I see someone with Tourette's, their tic triggers me. So, like, if we got a bunch of people with Tourette's together, it'd be like a box of frogs. You know, one hops and they all hop. Well, that's what it's like with Tourette's. You know? From a distance, it would look like we were all dancing. So, I don't know. Tourette's camp seems like a bit exhausting to me, if I'm honest. When you have multiple tics, do you often forget what you were saying before you started ticking? Easy to lose your chain of thought. Yes. Omega Monks, hello my sweet, it's good to see you here. I do touch a cunt from time to time, fuck you. I do lose my chain of thought very often. I find that I get tics that happen inside my head but don't come out as well. Like, I manage to suppress them, or it just interrupts my thoughts and doesn't interrupt my speech or actions. So I constantly have interruptions. It's very hard to stay focused on things. I think it definitely contributes to my ADD. Is your condition curable? It can cure itself over time. People can grow out of it. I can touch a kitten. I could fist your grandma, mate. Fuck you. There are all sorts of things that can potentially happen. Some people find that meditation helps. Some people think that that therapy helps. So there are lots of things that can cool it down and calm it. Some people learn to manage it with self-restraint and get really, really good at suppressing. So, you know, there are all sorts of ways that it can end for some people. There's been talk lately about women and makeup on Twitch after a big streamer went live with no makeup, so I'm curious, do you wear makeup when you stream or in general? I wear makeup to not look tired whenever I am tired. I'm actually quite shit at putting on anything more than a bit of foundation and mascara, because there's definitely a bit of a risk if I spend too much time with like pointed implements around my eyes and stuff that I'll poke them because of a motor tic. So I can't really pursue makeup too intensely. As well, like, I can't wear lipstick because I will just bite it off. I'll bite your dick off, bitch. How often do you have to explain your Tourette's to people when in public? Most days, actually, gazebo. For example, every time I get in a taxi, I have to go, "Hello, I'm a cunt. I have Tourette syndrome. If I offer to fist you, I don't mean it. If I shout cats, please don't slam the brakes, because there's probably not a cat in the road. Because that has nearly caused an accident a few times, unfortunately, because some people don't know what Tourette's is. Do I still have vocal tics when I'm sitting in silence? Yes, I do. I can be alone on the loo, or in the bath, or having a shower. I can be washing dishes, I can be doing chores, and I will still tic. I don't have to be interacting with someone in order for it to happen. I was in the bath once and I went, "Woo! I can see my flaps!" And when my flatmate was walking past my door, my bathroom door, and he pissed himself laughing. So he knows very well that when I'm alone and not being interacted with, that I still tic. Do you remember where you picked up any specific tics? Yes, I do. I got the one from a parrot who whistled it a lot because their owner touched my fish. Their owner had it as their phone notification. I used to tick, "Have you got the loops, brother?" And I used to tick, "Have you got the lamps, brother?" because of memes on the Discord channel that people posted. So yeah, I do remember the origins of quite a few, actually. But not every tic has an origin, unfortunately. I wish they all had a story. What got you into streaming? Interesting story, actually, my sweet. I was just playing Overwatch, talking to people, or trying to, and nobody was responding to me. Little did I know that there was this guy called Mr. Jake Wolf. He was a streamer. He is a streamer. And he's a very lovely guy. he found me, but he didn't speak to me at first. And all of his viewers were talking about me. They were going, I swear she's a voice actor or a soundboard. They were so convinced I was a soundboard. Then a voice actor. Then they really wanted him to speak to me, and he did eventually. And we got chatting, and it was a really funny conversation. I'd never heard of Twitch, and he said he was streaming.